A lot of times when people think about video games, they think of kids mindlessly fighting battles and wasting time, indoctrinating them to violence and leading them to violent futures. However, this just isn't true. These people forget that when kids play video games or watch Looney Tunes, they know that the violence they're seeing isn't real. You can't blow up a bull in real life and have him survive. Kids understand this because they've learned to disconnect reality and fantasy thanks to the magic of books. An active fantasy life is healthy for growing kids because it keeps the mind fertile. You don't see kids reading Harry Potter and then trying to fly on brooms, but you do see people inspired by Harry's adventures. The same is true of World of Warcraft. It is a fictional story taking place in a fictional world. It just has a more hands-on approach. To better understand World of Warcraft and its benefits to society, I spoke with Carl Eisenberg, an active World of Warcraft player. How long have you played World of Warcraft?
Since the stress test beta, so over 2 years.
Do you use chat, or do you use TeamSpeak or some other form of communication?
I use
Ventrilo?
But
Okay.
only with the guild, and only usually when in raids. Sometimes we use it in 5-man runs or in PvP, but most of the time it's just raids.
Okay, well what we'll do, I'll run in first, gather up all the eggs so we can kind of just, blast them all down with AoE. I will use Intimidating Shout to kind of scatter them so we don't have to fight a whole bunch of them at once. When my shout's done, I'll need Anthony to come in and drop his shout too, so we can keep them scattered and not to fight too many. When his is done, Bass of course will need to run in and do the same thing. We're going to need Divine Intervention on our mages, so they can AE, so we can of course get them down fast, because we're bringing all these guys. I mean, we'll be in trouble if we don't take them down quick.
When in-game, when not doing a raid and trying to complete a quest, how often do you team up with people in general, as in you use the Looking for Group channel to find people to help you complete the quest you're on?
Okay, there's a couple different ways that I do quests in a group.
Okay.
Usually, I would ask people in my guild, in the guild chat, if they are on the same quest or anyone else needs this. Then I might use the Looking for Group channel, either the global channel, which is no longer technically part of the game, but there still is a global channel that it just uses the same name, and probably half the servers in there. Anyway, so I either use that or the Looking for Group tool now. If I'm on a specific quest, I'll generally use the zone chat. There's a general zone chat, and so I'll ask someone in the same zone that I'm in if anyone else needs to use it before using the Looking for Group channel or the Looking for Group tool.
How about general abbreviations and such? LFG for Looking for Group. How you found out about those, learned to use those, learned what they meant.
It was so long ago, I don't remember. I've been using them for as long as I've been playing WoW, and some of them are WoW specific, like Looking for Group, LFG, and Looking for More, LFM, and sometimes you put a number in there, so looking for one more. Or things like Want to Sell, WX, or WTS, or Want to Trade, WTT, using those in the trade channel. Those are kind of WoW originated. As far as I know, they didn't come from another game, but they could be an MMO thing. I don't remember learning them. So probably they were used in chat, and I saw them and asked what it meant to people I knew, and they told me.
Okay. So you would consider yourself an expert at World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
How long do you think it took you to acquire expert status, as it were?
Well, it depends. Whether you mean expert in my character, expert in WoW in general, or expert in everything. Because I wouldn't necessarily say I'm an expert mage, because I don't play a mage. And I know most of the mage spells, but I wouldn't necessarily configure or think of myself as an expert in how a mage should spec his talent tree.
Yeah.
So, since I've been playing Paladin for so long, I would have said I've been expert shortly after I hit 60 in the original, so a couple months.
What do you like best about the social interaction present in World of Warcraft?
I enjoy collaborative gaming, so I really enjoy that I can be in a group and conquer some a raid or a quest, or usually, say, an instance can be either a raid or a 5-man, or even just hanging out with a bunch of people online, because you're also in a chat room while you're online, especially with your guild, because these people you play with regularly you see multiple times a week in game, so you know them fairly well. And it's kind of an interesting dynamic also, because you know how they play and what they say and what they act like and how they respond to things, but you don't know pretty much anything about their personal life. So you play with people that you don't know specifics where they live necessarily. Like, you might, but most of the time you don't.
How long did it take you to learn /chicken?
I don't know, that was pretty early. They go around.
Yeah.
Hey, type this /train is pretty funny too.
Yeah.
But, so you learn those things probably in the first couple weeks you play, if you have people that say them. If you don't talk to anyone, like if you turn off your chat channels, it might take you longer to figure it out personally. And I know people that don't want to talk to people, and so they just play solo. But it is a massively multiplayer game, so
it's about connecting socially with others.
yeah.
One way they help literacy is that sometimes there may be names of items or spells in the game that a player may be unfamiliar with, and thus learns the new word either by the context the game introduces it with, or by looking it up later since they want to know what it means. Where might you look it up later?
If you mean like an item, what it does, or a word in an item name. Because I know there's, like, one of the challenges of making items in any game is coming up with names and enough of them in large quantity and variations and permutations.
Scroll of Desecration.
Right. And so you come up with all these words that people may or may not have heard of before. So you have sometimes big words that I've never even heard of, or that are Latin, or that are medieval origin, or that are like new words that they made up for the game that are permutations of some other word that means something that they wanted to get.
And did medieval Latin words inspire you to maybe look up what they meant? They inspire a little curiosity?
Yeah, actually, it probably did, because I'm actually taking Latin in college, so I'm in my second quarter of Latin. And I didn't think of that as a direct, like, influence of that I wanted to take Latin because of these cool words oriented, but it was more of a vocabulary orientation. So, like, I like having a large English vocabulary. So sometimes I look up these things. If I was going to look up something, an item name, like a word in particular, I would probably just ask someone in my guild. I might ask someone in an IRC channel that I'm in with mostly add-on authors, or I might Google it. If I was looking up a specific item, like stats of what it does, I would go to one of the item databases, like Thoughtbot or Alakazam.
Okay. Alright, thank you very much, Carl.
So while on the surface this may appear to be yet another all-bronze, no-brains adventure, for the gamer who's willing to stretch their mind, World of Warcraft can be an effervescent playground of critical thinking.